I'm Attorney Gage Fletcher. Welcome to the ATX Food Truck Tour. We visit some of the best local food trucks, hear their stories, and meet the team behind the truck. Today, I'm at Eastside King at High Noon in East Austin. I'm gonna give the pork belly buns a shot here. This is a Taiwanese sweet bun, pork belly, hoisin sauce, and green onions. That's an interesting flavor. The pork belly is good. The hoisin sauce definitely gives it some moisture, and the green onions is a nice addition on top of that. This is good. All right, I'm here with Hillary from Eastside King. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
How about we start out and maybe you just introduce yourself a little bit and kind of talk about Eastside King and a little bit of how we got to where we're at today.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm Hillary. I'm the director of operations for Eastside King in Austin. So when I started, we had 3 food trucks, and that was the entire company. One at Shangri-La, one at Grackle, and then the one I was at Liberty, which was like the flagship. And we did everything on the food truck. So we roasted the beets, we cooked all the pork belly, we cut all the chicken, we broke everything down in-house. I remember working, like maybe the first week I was here, we were doing a convection oven for the beets, and I was wearing like fishnet tights because we didn't have a dress code. And I was pulling them out of the oven, and like the oil spilled onto my legs, and I was like blistered. It sounds like bad, but it was actually really fun. It was a really fun experience at the beginning because we just all worked really hard. We had each other's backs, and we made really good food, and people really loved it.
So getting to see Eastside King from the start in 2012 until where we're at today, what has that been like for you to get to see the growth and everything?
It's been good. However, small business is extremely difficult. We've never had any kind of investors. We've never been in a hole really either, but everything has been ad hoc. So we've never paid for marketing. It's kind of incredible that we're still around, honestly. Like the fact that we've made it this far with none of that kind of backing is really cool.
Do you think that not having investment, not having funding has allowed you all to be a little more flexible, possibly?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of why we've done it, is because we don't really want to be told what to do. Our company is like 100% back of house. Like the owners are chefs, the employees are chefs. We have very little like marketing or even front of house blood in our group, which has allowed us to really focus on like the ingredients, the quality, the food, and not as much of like maybe smoke and mirrors.
We just ordered some of the beet home fries here at Eastside King that came with some QP mayonnaise, and I'm gonna give these a shot now. That's good. That's good. Definitely, if you're a fan of beets, it's a really interesting twist on it with the mayonnaise. It's got a nice tart at the start, and with the mayonnaise, it's a nice kind of blend of 2 completely different flavors. So I like it. Good stuff. Maybe talk a little bit about the Eastside King brand and some of the things you all stand for and some of your values.
I mean, it's built on like the people who started it and the people who work here. The 2 main people who started are Moto Tsunomiya, who moved here from Japan because he loved blues and he knew about Saxon punk and he knew about Antones. And so he moved here back in like the late 80s to pursue like blues and music. And then he met Paul Key. They were both cooking at Uchi. And so like that's how it started. And it's always been built around like music, ad hoc cooking, good food, accessible food.
Tell me more about the menu and maybe how you all develop the menu and kind of what that process is like.
We are still from fine dining, so the developmental part of our menu process is actually quite lengthy. So like you can't just like come on and put on a dish if you have a good idea. You go through like a series of tastings, a series of sourcing, a series of costing, a series of running it with specials to see what the what the clientele likes, what our people will like. The food scene in Austin in general is like changed drastically, which is a positive for the most part. Like back in 2009 when we opened, there was no one doing foie gras out of a food truck, so it's kind of cool to see that there's a lot more chefs and a lot more people interested in that types of food. However, I think it's like diluting our market a bit about like what is truly good food and what is an atmosphere only, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So the changes have been overall positive because like we want people to be moving here that like want good food.
Yeah.
Right. And that demand is here more than ever.
All right, Hillary, thanks so much for letting us come by. Is there anything you'd like to say for our viewers that haven't been able to check out Eastside King yet?
Yeah, absolutely. We just moved to a new location on Cesar Chavez on the corner at high noon. So please come by. We'll be doing new menu items in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the ATX Food Truck Tour. Drop a comment below on where we should go next.